our next guest, that was interesting.
It was.
Our next guest is a children's author. She's an award-winning children's author, and her name is Tameka Fryer Brown. She has several books, and she has some more coming up soon. But the one that I think she's best known for is the Brown Baby Lullaby. But
Which I absolutely love the title of. That is beautiful.
She'll tell us that. Is that your most popular book so far, Tameka?
Well, first of all, I have to say thank you so much for having me here. I think maybe so. My first book is 11 years in print.
Okay.
So, and that one has sold over 100,000 copies, largely thanks to the New York Board of Education. Okay. So they were big support. Yeah. But Brown Baby Lullaby is doing really well. Yeah.
And what was your first book?
It is
the one that
Around Our Way on Neighbor's Day.
Is that the one that sold 100,000 copies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And this one, like I said, it was my first book. 2010 is when it came out.
Okay.
And this one is about a multicultural community celebrating Neighbor's Day.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what that one's about. So yeah.
So what was the inspiration for that? Did you actually have a Neighbor's Day in your neighborhood growing up?
You know what? I did not. I'm from Miami though. And multicultural is that's what Miami is,
yes,
right?
Miami is very multicultural.
Absolutely. And so that was really the inspiration for that. Never had a Neighbor's Day, but you know, we had community celebrations sometimes. And yeah, in fact, I didn't even know, to be honest, I didn't even know there was such a thing as Neighbor's Day when I wrote this story. This was like from my imagination, my creativity. Come to find out there is a Neighbor's Day on September 28th.
Oh, there's an actual, okay. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't.
Well, you know what? I'm going to celebrate it in 2022 because I tell you, I've said hello to my neighbors. I don't know their names. I might try to learn their names and celebrate.
I know. Look, I wrote the book and I'm kind of the same way. So
me too.
We all need to celebrate.
We do. I just found out my neighbor across the street's name a week ago, and he's been doing our landscaping for quite some time. But you know, very industrious. He started doing my neighbors, and then we were using somebody else. Then we switched. Then he started doing ours and my next door neighbors. Then he's doing like 6 people on the street, like the whole block. He does. But you know, I didn't know his name, and I was embarrassed to ask him his name because I thought I should know his name. And then I finally asked him his name the other day, and he told me what it was. But yeah, a lot of times your neighbors, you wave at them, but you don't know them.
That's right.
You know,
and neighbors, and it's good. Yeah, it's good to have something like Good Neighbor's Day, because that gives us a reason to make the effort to go out and, you know, pass out cookies or that's pre-COVID. Now we can, you know, I guess we can give them little cards. Hey neighbor, you know, something like that. So
yeah, they do that in the park. We have a park in our subdivision where they do, but I never go to it. My husband has gone to it a couple of times, but I've never gone to it. But they have those periodically where you know, the neighborhood, they, you know, to get to know your people in the subdivision. But I don't do that. So now what encouraged you or motivated you to, what was your impetus behind starting to write children's books?
Actually, it was when I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had been a stay-at-home mom. Let's see, my oldest was around 9 at the time, and I came home from the workforce when she was 8 months. So I had been a stay-at-home mom for a while, and when my youngest daughter, I have 3 daughters, was almost 2, I was really at that phase where it's like, you know, I love my kids and I love the privilege of being able to stay at home with them, but I was like, I need something more, you know, than just this day-to-day mommyhood. And I was reading a picture book to her one day, and it just struck me that this was it. I had always been told that I was a good, you know, writer throughout school. I loved the picture books that I was reading to them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I think I can do this. And that was the beginning of it.
Okay,
But
now,
you're not
now
an
how did you go and
educator.
make that and take that further? I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, I think
Right.
I'm gonna write a children's book. But
Mhm.
now you've taken a children's book and you've turned it into a New York Times bestseller. You now have multiple books. So don't leave out those steps now, because you have all these people thinking it's easy.
Oh no, it was not easy. In fact, I always say, you know, I thought it was going to be easy. In fact, I thought I was going to be able to, you know, write this book and have everybody, you know, fighting over my first book. And it was going to be a New York Times bestseller off the bat. And of course, that was not what happened. Everybody rejected that first story because it wasn't ready. But I always say that I am glad that I had that boldness up front, and I didn't know what a difficult journey it was going to be, because I might have not, you know, been bold enough to take that first step. So that's what I want. But I do want to tell everybody out there, people who are interested, is that it's not impossible. Take the first step. There are organizations that can help you learn the craft of writing for children, because depending on the genre that you want to write in, you need to learn the craft of writing for that. And so fortunately, you know, I jumped out there, I submitted my stuff, I got rejections on all of it, but one of those rejection letters told me that if you're serious about writing for children, join the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And so back then, that's what I did. And I learned so much about the craft of writing for children. So now I joined SCBWI in 2005, and I was real serious. I mean, I was hungry. I was taking courses or whatever. And I ended up selling my first book in 2008. And then it came out in 2010. So no, it's not easy, but with persistence, it's very possible.
A fabulous point. You know, you actually put yourself, you didn't wait for luck to happen. Mm-hmm. You actually put yourself in a position to meet people who are also serious about their craft, mm-hmm. and then you learn from them. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that I probably wouldn't be an author today had I not joined a group of authors who I was able to learn from, who told me about an opportunity, and I went for it. So I think that's great inspiration to anybody who wants to go a little bit further in their writing careers.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, the act of writing may be a one person, you know, act, but community is so important when you're trying to really advance in this business. From learning the craft to having advocates who are putting your name out there in certain circles so that you get mm-hmm. opportunities. So when your book comes out, you want that community to help, you know, bring awareness to your book. So community is really important. Absolutely.
Okay, now at the time you did your first book, I don't know if social media was really a thing.
Right.
So how were you able to get the word out at that time?
Well, you know, social media was a little bit of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so I did a little bit of that. I had a Facebook page and that, but to be honest, I probably did not market my first book as much as I do now, right? Because that was a learning curve as well. I kind of lucked up in a way with the New York Board of Education that they discovered my book and loved it, and you know, supported it with huge purchases. I think they're still purchasing it today. So yeah, but now, like you all know, social media is everything. Yeah, so so I guess with my first book, it was just more support from my friends. I have a writer friend, Kelly Starling Lyons, and she was
Love the name.
very, very supportive in letting people know about my book and using it in her book club and things of that nature. So I did a little social media. I depended on my friends, and I just tried to write a good book. I think that's the thing that I most focus on, is the actual book itself, because I think while marketing is super important in promotional activities, the foundation of your success is going to be the book that you write. Is it a good book? And I think that's really what's going to take it as far as it can go. So that's what I've always tried to focus on. And I think as I've been in this game for, I can't believe, over a decade now, I'm getting better and better at the books that I write and the marketing. So it's kind of all meshing together for me. So.
Okay. How do you decide? Like, I'm looking at some of your upcoming titles that are going to be coming out. What drives you in terms of the themes for your books, for your children's books?
I have to say, I write by muse, right? And it's like whatever the idea that strikes me, if it sticks around, like especially if I don't have a phone or something to jot it down and it still sticks around, I know that's a good idea. Okay. But yeah, it's just really, for me, I'm not that button chair writer that sits down in front of the computer at 9 o'clock every day and just, starts typing something. I kind of just, when an idea hits me, and ideas can come from anywhere, right? Like 12 Ding Doorbells. That's probably one of the books that you saw. It's about Black family gatherings. And I got that idea from #Thanksgiving with Black families. And yeah, whenever that comes out every year, like every Thanksgiving, I'm like, okay, let me see if there's any new meanings.
I love that hashtag. That is so funny to me. I know some people feel a way about it, but it's funny to me. I really enjoy it.
Now, is this the one with the food list? Or is that something different? Okay. Where that's
well, it's food list. There are certain things that all Black families do for Thanksgiving.
Certain drama.
Thing about the macaroni.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that. Now, of course, I brought this down for kid, because some of that hashtag for Black families is not kid friendly. But we made the book kid friendly.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah,
I was actually going to ask you about the 12 Ding Doorbells, but since you talked about that, I also see that you had one called Not Done Yet, Shirley Chisholm's Fight for Change. So are you trying to incorporate some Black history lessons, so to speak, in your books as well?
I think I am at the point where I just want to celebrate Black culture. And whether it's our family traditions, like in 12 Ding Doorbells, whether it's one of our phenomenal ancestors, like Shirley Chisholm, or whether it's That Flag, which is the third book that's coming out, which is about the Confederate flag, right? I am just wanting to share our joys, our concerns, just Black life. I'm just elevating, who we are, what we think, what we feel. That's just kind of where I am right now as an author.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I see you have 3 different publishers, or is it because I know Penguin's different from HarperCollins. I'm not sure about Millbrook Press, because these publishers have so many imprints that it might be one or the other. So how did that occur? Because I know a lot of times the publishers want you to just be with them, and people will do a 2-book deal or a 3-book deal or a 5-book deal or whatever it is with that one publisher. But how did you end up with different publishers?
I have never really been one of those authors to stuck with just one publisher. I have an agent, right? And so we submit the manuscripts, and whoever comes with the best deal, that's where we go. That's just how I've never been one of those people. Now, it's funny, my second book, My Cold Plum Lemon Pie Bluesy Mood, was purchased by an editor named Joy Peskin. Joy left Viking, and another editor, Joanna Cardenas, finished it up.
Okay.
Brown Baby Lullaby, Joy bought at her new house, right?
Okay.
12 Dinging Doorbells, Joanna bought at her new division. So while I have books with different publishers, I kind of have a few editors I've worked with over and over again.
Okay.
So, because they
That's
move
interesting.
around. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting.
Mhm.
So, and that's good to know. So did you start out with an agent? When did you acquire an agent? After your, which book did you get the agent?
Yeah, well, I'm on my second agent. I got my first agent before I sold Around Our Way on Neighbors Day, my first book.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think I got her in 2007. We
Okay.
sold the book in 2008. I was with her for about 8 years. And then I transitioned to my current agent, Marietta Zacher.
So how do you know when it's time to move on to a different agent?
That's hard to say. I think when a relationship just isn't working anymore, like y'all aren't on the same page as to the vision that you have for your career and that they have for your career, I think that's when the relationship doesn't really, it's not fruitful anymore. And that's probably when it's time to move on.
Okay, I've never had an agent, and I haven't pursued one, but even though I have 13 books, but I'm
Mhm.
self-published, and I'm not looking to sell my books at this time. I'm not saying I'm against it for the future. Just I want to keep my rights. But with an agent, it seems like I would think that if they got like a big client in terms of the book, the size of the book deal, that some of their smaller clients might be neglected.
Go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get ignored.
Yeah.
Go by the wayside.
Yeah, right.
It happens.
It does happen. And that depends, that's another element of that agent-client relationship.
Mhm.
Now, not all agents are like that. My agent, I'm sure she has some big clients. I still feel attention from her. You know what I mean? I think that's important. The agent needs to be organized enough so that they can at least communicate with you and say, okay, received your email. I'll get back to you X, Y, in a week or whatever. My agent has never gone a whole week without contacting me, following up with me on something I,
And
reached out to her
that's
about.
big. And it's something that I've always wholeheartedly believed. I don't expect to be my agent's only client. In fact, I'm not even sure I want to be my agent's only client.
Right.
However, I want to feel like I'm my agent's only client. So I think an author or an actor or whomever should never be felt like they put on the back burner. They should never feel ignored. One of my biggest challenges is helping my daughter to find an agent. And we have run into about 3 or 4 agents. And I'm not saying that they have to put her on a cloud. I'm not saying that she has to get every audition she goes on, but at least show us that you're looking for auditions for her.
That's right.
Or you're looking for readings for her. It shouldn't be where we have to keep calling you to see what's going on. So
Agreed.
I think that the agent-client relationship is very important in that aspect, to where the client has to feel that you are actually actively working for the client.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
Now, do you write full-time? Are you a full-time author?
I'm getting there. Like my baby just went to college.
Oh, okay.
She's a freshman.
All right.
So now I'm kind of flipping the script a little bit, and I'm writing more. And as you can see, like between my second book and my third book, it was 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got 3 books coming out back to back to back.
Right.
So I don't know if I want to claim full time, but I'm working pretty hard. So I might as well.
It sounds like you're full time without knowing you're full time.
That's right. That's right.
I love it.
I
So
had another
now
question in my mind.
I know you have a lot of forthcoming titles.
Mm-hmm.
What is the first one that's coming out? What's the first one we should be looking for?
Okay, so it's going to be 12 Dinging Doorbells, and that's
Okay.
coming out in October of 2022.
Okay.
And then we got Not Done Yet, Shirley Chisholm's Fight for Change. That is with Learner. A Kokila, which is a division of Penguin Random House's 12 Dinging Doorbells. Learner, Millbrook Press is Shirley Chisholm, and then HarperCollins is That Flag. And I think I told you that that's about best friends who have a different understanding and perspective on the meaning of the Confederate flag.
Okay.
And so that's what that book is going to be about. So, and that one's coming out at the beginning of 2023.
Okay. So I had I forgot my question. Now I remember it, about the I think it's the bookshelf. Is it the brown bookshelf?
The brown bookshelf. Mhm.
Okay. And are you one of the founding people?
Not the founding members, but
Okay.
I've been with them for a long
A while.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because we had someone else from the group, one of the founders, I believe. I can't
Mhm.
call her name right now, but she was on the show. It might have been 6 months now when she was
Paula
on.
Chase, probably Paula.
It was Paula Chase.
Mhm.
That's who it was.
Mhm.
So what is the brown, remind us of what the brown bookshelf does? And I'm assuming it's not named after you, since you since you were one of the founders, but it's
I wasn't one of the founders.
brown books for brown people.
That's right.
For
That's
brown
right.
skinned people. So
Yeah.
just tell us about what that organization is doing now, and what its continued goals are.
Sure. Well, the Brown Bookshelf was established, and we continue to bring awareness to the Black creatives who are creating books for all of our children, authors and illustrators. And our flagship initiative is 28 Days Later, and that happens in February. And each day of the month, we feature an author or an illustrator who is of the African diaspora. And so we just want to make sure that people know, because a lot of times people have said over the years, oh, I can't find any books by Black authors. No, they exist. And so that's what we do at the Brown Bookshelf, is we try to shine a spotlight on those, again, Black creatives who are creating books, children's books for our kids. So yeah,
Well,
that's what we do.
I did put the URL in the chat. I hope that a lot of people will go and look for these authors, because just like we were talking with in the last segment, many kids don't grow up automatically knowing these Black created books, or people of color created books. So to have a place where all of these are in the same place is a great, great asset. And I just want to let you know, Tameka Julian says that she will be getting all 3 of your upcoming books, as she has done previously, and she is so excited for you.
Thank you, namesake.
Her name is spelled with an I instead of an E.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, unfortunately, she didn't get it. She didn't get it just right, but she's close enough.
Also
if
want to
you
let you know that
have-
Mary Evans said that she loves what you're saying, and she wants to write like you as well, and that you are very inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. I really do.
She's one of our regular viewers and supporters of the show and the National Black Book Festival. She's one of the managers, actually. And Mary, since you're watching, I'm going to remind you of the book project that I told you, that the book series that you must do. And I told you that 2 years ago. I'm still waiting on the second installment. So anyway,
She didn't put you out in public now, Mary. So go
Yeah,
ahead and
I
get
put-
Yeah, she put you out there. You
Yeah,
gotta do it now.
out there. You need to do it. I know you can. Just do it. Anyway, Tameka, if you have some advice for children's authors, what would that be? Or aspiring children's authors or existing children's authors who may want to get more exposure for their books?
Okay, well, for the aspiring, read. For the first step, we're talking about learning craft. The first thing you want to do is read. Go to the library and check out, I would say 25, or purchase if you have them, 25 of the most recent award winners of the past, say 5 years, 25 of those books, and read. I hear some people say 100. If you can do 100, do 100, because reading what you want to write is an education. It's going to teach you a lot about the genre, and it's also going to teach you about what's missing from the genre, and maybe you could be the person to fill that void. So read. And then I would say from there, do not give up. This is a journey. It's not a sprint.
A marathon.
It's a marathon.
I got your first book that you did, that you wanted to tell people your story of your life or whatever. That's most people's first books are autobiographical. Then that's unless you just need to get that out there.
Yeah,
that's not going to set the world on fire unless you're already a celebrity. And people want to know, like, the skinny, the stuff, the real, the secrets. But if you're not a celebrity, nobody really cares. And your family members will be pissed off, they'll be angry that you
told all the business.
Yeah, they will be. I mean, and if you've ever seen, what's the name of that show? Oh my goodness, what's the name of the show about the people, about the Black family and the sugar cane? Queen Sugar.
Queen Sugar.
Yeah, that happened on Queen Sugar, where the lady decided she was going to tell her story, but she wound up putting all the family business out, and everybody was mad at her and stopped speaking to her.
They were mad at her for a whole season. And she did. She was wrong. She was wrong for putting that out there.
Was wrong.
She was talking about she need to tell her.
Change the names. She didn't have it.
She didn't know what she was talking about. Almost had people digging up the whole sugar cane field for something she didn't even know what she was talking about.
She was wrong. But they shunned her, as they should have. So anyway, Tameka, thank you so much for being a guest on Black Authors Matter TV. And
it was my pleasure.
Continue success with your books. It's wonderful that you're taking on some topics that, like you say, there's a void. There's not, especially the ones about the Thanksgiving and the flag. That should be an interesting book discussion.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it will.
I like the one about the 12 dinging doorbells. Let's talk about some of that history that we forget about.
Yeah, that's about Thanksgiving. Yeah. So when that comes out,
it's actually about the subtitle is an every holiday carol, because we do it. I mean, we do this kind of the same. All of our family gatherings kind of have some of the same elements to them. So
that is true.
And I want to say, look, I'm a supporter too. Look, I have my mug, and I have 3 shirts now. So
okay. Wonderful. All right. Well, the branding is getting out there and it's circulating. And the
man, I didn't bring my shirt. I would have been holding up my shirt. Okay, yeah, but I got my mug.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family.
Same to you. Same to you.
It was a pleasure. It really was.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a great one.